welcome back to my channel. It is your girl Brandy and I am back with another video. So maybe a couple of months ago I started this series called reading books that I've been pushing off. I only have one video in that series, and today is the perfect day, or this week is the perfect week to chime back into that series. And so this week we are going to be reading another book that I've been pushing off for a very long time. If you guys have been here for a while, then you know I kept on saying I'm going to read it, but I'm afraid to read it. And so I officially added it to my fall TBR. And like I usually do, I requested the audiobook on Libby. When I request the audiobook on Libby, it is to force me to read some of these books off of my physical TBR. So in this video, we're going to be doing bookish things, but then we're also going to be focusing on a book that I've been pushing off for a while. And this time it is going to be The 7-Year Slip by Ashley Poston. I've been having this book for a very long time. So I've had a birthday this year. I got this book, my birthday last year, gifted to me. I think my sister brought me this book. We had a bookish day where we went book shopping. She took me out to birthday lunch, and we picked this book up at where did we pick this one up from? Books A Million. So we went shopping at Books A Million, and this was one of the books that I had picked up during that time, which was last year, which was basically over a year ago. Now, honestly, you guys, I just been very hesitant on reading this book. I think it's because I know there's going to be like a magical element a part of this book, and like I don't have a problem with that type of element. I just never read anything by this author before, so I didn't know like really what to expect. And so I have not seen any of my mutuals talking about this book besides one, Mara. Mara said she loved this book, and when I seen Mara talking about it, I was like, okay, let me go ahead and read the book, because if my girl Mara loved the book, if she really enjoyed it, then it has to be something in here that I will enjoy. The only other book that I've read that had like a magical element to it is A Love Song for Ricky Wilde. And so I've heard that this magical element is kind of sort of similar to that. So I'm like, okay, let's go ahead and give it a try. So if you guys have never read this book before, I'll go ahead and give you the synopsis. And it says, sometimes the worst day of your life happens and you have to figure out how to live after it. For Clementine West, that means burying her head in her work as a book publicist, being practical and forgetting the silly things her beloved aunt, is it Analia? Yeah, taught her, like living wide and chasing the moon. Clementine would rather stay grounded and keep her heart safe. For the last 6 months, she's done just that. But when she moves into her late aunt's apartment and finds a strange man standing in the kitchen, a man with kind eyes, a southern drawl, and a taste for lemon pies, her well-laid plans begin to fall apart. Because he's the type of man who, before it all, she would have fallen head over heels for. And she still might, except he exists in the past. Now, this is where the magical element comes in at. 7 years in the past, to be exact. And she quite literally lives 7 years in the future. Her aunt always said the apartment was a pinch in time, a place where moments blended like watercolors. She also said that love is never a matter of time, but a matter of timing. And Clementine fears she may be 7 years too late. So this is a romance novel. And I have a feeling Clementine is going to be falling in love with this young man that is mentioned on this synopsis. So I can't wait to tap into this novel and really see how I feel about it. I am going to be dual reading, so I'm going to be doing some via audiobook, like while I'm at work and stuff, and then I'm going to be doing some physically, like when I'm at home. I typically tap into new to me authors via audiobook, but over time I've noticed that some books I need to put my eyes on it to kind of follow well enough to understand what is going on. So while I'm at work and I have like, you know, time to actually listen, because when I'm at work, as you guys already know, I'm watching booktube videos. So while I'm at work, if I have time to listen, then I will be listening to it while I'm at work. But then while I'm at home, I'm going to pick up the physical book and read it with my eyes. That way I can get the gist of it. I don't want to miss out on anything, especially because it has a magical element. And I want to give it its fair chance, since I've been pushing this book back for a very long time. So I'm getting ready to tap into this book. I'm probably gonna go ahead and start the audiobook for it, and then I'm gonna tap into it, kind of get the gist of what's going on, and then when I get back, I'll give you guys my initial thoughts. I really have high hopes for this. I'm hoping I'm getting a 4-star out of this at least, because lately I've been reading books and I've been getting like 3.5, and so this is a romance novel, so I'm really hoping to get at least a 4-star out of this one. So we'll see. So once I have my initial thoughts on this book, I will be back to chat with you guys. So I have initial thoughts for the 7-year slip. Is that what it's called? I don't know why I want to call it something else, but yes, the 7-year slip. I am about 5 chapters in and I have initial thoughts. First of all, I'm liking it. It's pretty good. I'm enjoying it. I'm loving the chapters. The chapters are not too long. They're not too short. And they're like jam-packed with things. So I'm loving the author's writing style. I'm loving how each chapter is just about something. It's not fluffy. It's not full of fluff yet. And this is yet. Because like I said, I'm only 5 chapters in. Another thing I love about the book is that there are chapter titles with chapter numbers. Love that so much. I know a lot of people like chapter titles versus chapter numbers, but I like them both. So I can either do chapter numbers only or chapter titles and chapter numbers, but I cannot just do chapter titles by themselves. I don't like it. So the book is about a female main character named Clementine. I already gave you guys like a brief synopsis, but she's gone through a breakup. And I mean, you can't really call it a big breakup because the breakup, it doesn't faze her. She has this thing where she's not in very much long-term relationships. So whenever she goes through a breakup, it's like whatever. And this time she went through this breakup because she puts her job first. So she is in she's a publicist, and so she's very busy, very busy. She's an assistant, and she puts her job first. She's the last one leaving on Friday nights. She puts her job first, and so her boyfriend was like, listen, I can't do it. You're not even here spending time with me, so how about you go date your job? And she's like, how about I do it? Like, it's not a big deal. So she's supposed to be, usually she goes on this annual vacation around the same time every year, and she usually goes with her aunt. Her passport is full of stamps because her aunt literally vacation every year in August. Well, this particular year she canceled her vacation because her aunt is no longer living. And so she's finally, her aunt left her an apartment. And for a long time, she would not go into this apartment because her aunt gave her like specific instructions about said apartment. When she finally moves into the apartment, and when she moves into the apartment, she runs into this guy, and this guy is already in her apartment, like he lives there. Okay, his name is it Ellen or something like that? I think that's his name. And he's already there. And so she's like, who are you? And he's like, hey, my name is Ellen, and I'm subleasing the apartment. And she was like, what do you mean, subleasing the apartment? He was like, yeah, so your aunt, she allowed me to stay in here in her apartment while she's out traveling the world. And she's like, well, how could that be when my aunt is dead? My aunt is not alive. And so she realizes that this guy is in this apartment 7 years in the past. So one of the things her aunt told her about the apartment was that it was magical. And so that's where the magical element comes into play. And so everything, she even notices, like, once she wakes up, she notices, like, the decor in the apartment looks different. Some of the things she know for sure she moved around and switched out when she moved in is back to how it was before. And so I think his name is Ellen. I don't know. I'll put his name on the screen because I think I'm butchering it. But he is an aspiring chef. He wants to be a chef. He went to school to get an associate's degree to be a chef. And so they're talking. They're kind of getting to know each other because she's trying to figure out who the heck he is. Like, my aunt left specific instructions for me to be living in this space since she's passed away. She said nothing about somebody else being here. But granted, this was 7 years in the past, but she did mention that the apartment was magical. Funny thing about the guy is that he is an aspiring chef. His goal is to get this dishwashing position in at this restaurant in Soho. And she's like, why are you trying to be a dishwasher? And he was like, so I can move up in the company and then eventually I'll be the head chef. And she's like, but you have a degree and you know how to cook. So why are you starting off like that? And he was like, because you got to start off small. You got to start off at the bottom before you get to the top. So it's so funny to me. So yeah, the book is really good so far. One thing I found similar, like I already told you guys, the only other book that I read that had like magical realism in it was A Love Song for Ricky Wilde. The two books have the setting in New York similar. And I've noticed that right off the bat. I was like, okay, so super cool. So yeah, I'm still rocking and rolling. I've been listening to it on audiobook at work, like I said I would. And now, you know, I'm eventually going to crack the book open so that I can read it with my eyes, because I'm really, really enjoying the story. I am feeling good about it. So yeah, that's it for now. And when I have another reading update or I'm doing something bookish, I'll be back. Today's goal is to finish this book. That's the goal. I just did a hot girl walk. I walked 3.37. I walked 3.37 miles while listening to the audiobook. So I listened to an hour of the audiobook, y'all. I have not picked up the physical book. I have not picked it up because I don't want to. I don't want to read that one physically, so I'm not. That's why we can read different formats of books. That's why there's different formats of books. Because yeah, I don't want to read that one physically, so I will not. So yeah, I read an hour of the book. I think I am like 65% in, maybe 70. I don't know, because I'm recording from my phone because my camera died while I was out here. But anyway, since I'm here at the park, oh, I got a snack. I'm about to eat this snack. I have a protein granola bar. It's peanut, almond, and dark chocolate. I am hungry and I'm trying to figure out if I want to go get me an acai bowl from Tropical Smoothie, or do I want some type of smoothie, because I don't want any breakfast food, which is very surprising for me because breakfast is my favorite meal of the day and I love everything breakfast. I can eat breakfast for breakfast, lunch, and dinner, but I don't want any breakfast food. So I'm gonna eat that. But while I'm over here, I'm going to go to the little free library, see what they got, and make some book donations. I'm going to donate 3 books. 2 of them are ARCs, and one of them is just a book that I got from a library book sale that I'm not going to read. And then I'm going to see what they have. I'm not really looking for anything, or I don't really need to take anything, right? But if I see something that catches my eye, I will. But I am going to donate Something in the Water by Phyllis R. Dixon. You guys know I read this book and I think I rated it like 3-star, 2.5. It was okay. I think it had a lot of potential, but it was just okay. It was a family drama, and I felt like it had a lot of potential to be better than what it is. I really hate to keep ARCs on my shelf, so I'm going to donate that. And then The Dividing Sky. Y'all, this book has never been cracked open. I actually got this this time last year, and it actually released this time last year. It released October 2024. I'm not really interested. It's set in 2364. Like, I'm not really interested. It's 2 teens on opposite sides of the law. Yeah, no. It's a dystopian romance debut novel. And no, I'm not really interested. So I'm gonna donate it. I hope somebody else who loves dystopian romance loved it. This author was at the Black Romance Book Festival this year. Another one is If It Makes You Happy. I picked this one up just because it was a black girl on the cover at the library book sale. I did read like a chapter of it when I was trying to figure out what books I wanted to read. I'm not really interested. This one is about, I think she had like a bakery. Yeah, I'm not really interested. So I'm going to donate it, and hopefully, you know, somebody see a black girl on the screen and decide that this is for them. So these are the 3 books that I'm going to donate to the free little library. And if I see anything worth grabbing, then I will grab it. But I don't need no books. I don't need no books. I really just wanted to clear these off of my shelves. But I don't really need any books. So yeah, I'll see y'all when I get there. There was a Kristen Hanna book in here. That's a lot of Junie Bloom. Another Kristen Hanna. putting this one. Can it fit? And that one. Okay, so according to my cellular device and Libby, I am 70% in to the 7-year slip, and it's going okay so far. I've had to restart this book because I'm listening to it via audio. I'm usually multitasking when I'm listening to it, so I had to start it over because I was just forgetting what the heck was going on in the book. But you know, I've been here and giving you guys my initial thoughts and my updates after I started the book over. So I'm not going to restart this book over. So I need to go ahead and just continue listening to it. I do have some thoughts though. So, you know, the apartment that her aunt left her is magical. And she meets, and his name is Elon. She meets Elon in the apartment. And so, you know, time has passed, things have gone on. She's left the apartment because she obviously has to work. And then when she returns back to the apartment, he's not there. So she's kind of like freaking out. She knows that they are 7 years in the past, but he doesn't really know. And so, you know, she's in her feelings about it. She's in her feelings about it because she's basically fallen in love with this man. And, you know, she's in her feelings about it because he's missing. So she comes back into, I guess you would say, present time. And she's talking with her friends. And so the trippy part about this book is when she is at the apartment 7 years in the past, if anybody texts or call her, she will not receive those notifications. She will not receive those notifications until she comes back to present time. So when she comes back to present time, her friends are like, hey, what's up? How was your weekend? Like, we've been reaching out to you. You ain't responding to nothing. And at first she's like, what are you talking about? She thinking in her head, like, ain't nobody been reaching out to me. But then when she finally looks down at her phone, she notices she has all these notifications. So that's a really trippy, magical part that's happening in the book. But, you know, but when she does come back after she realizes he's not at the apartment anymore, she's really sad about it. And so her friends are trying to figure out what's wrong. Like, why are you so sad? And she really can't tell him about this man because this man is 7 years in the past. So she really can't tell him about him being missing or even who he is. So, of course, she is a publicist for a book publishing company or whatever. And so they are working on getting a book deal for a cookbook. And so she realizes that this book deal is for Elon. But it's 7 years in the future for him, current time for her, and he now goes by a different name. So he is a chef in current time, and he now goes by a different name. However, his people, his manager and all them, they declined doing a book deal with her and her publishing company. And she's trying to figure out why. She's thinking it has something to do with her and his previous relationship. So she's trying to figure out why, because this is going to be a big deal. I think what I really liked about them trying to get a cookbook deal is that for him, like, easily he could write a book talking about all the recipes and, you know, putting recipes in a book and talking about what foods pair well with what wines and stuff. But he asked them to come out to a cooking class so that they can see and do hands-on of what he actually makes in the kitchen. I thought that was cool. Of course, you know, some people are better cooks than others. So some people are messing the food up and stuff. And he's like, it might still taste good. But, you know, so he doesn't know who she is in present time, but she know who he is in present time, and he goes by a different name. And so, before they did the cooking class or whatever, that's when they had decided that they didn't want to do the book deal. And she was trying to figure out why. So when she goes back to the apartment and she sees him in the past, she's trying to figure out what he was thinking in the past that would jeopardize or make them not want to do this book deal in the present time. So I thought that was pretty cool. And just a lot of things is happening in the book that I think is really trippy because if you're listening to it via audiobook, you really need to pay attention because we are going back 7 years and then we're coming back to present time. And because he is in current time, you could get the timelines mixed up if you're not really paying attention to it. But it's been fair. It's been pretty good. I don't think this is going to be a 5-star read for me. But it's very interesting. And I am enjoying the ride. I think what I love most about it is because she is a publicist, they're mentioning like publishing companies. So like Simon and Schuster and Harper, and I think that's really cool. Similar to when authors are throwing in little gems of book titles and stuff, so I think that's pretty cool. But ultimately I think it's pretty good. I think her writing style is pretty fair. I think it's pretty good. So I think I'm on what chapter? So I'm 70% in. I'm like just now getting into chapter 30, and so yeah, the goal is to finish this book. So yeah, the goal is to get this book finished today because I don't want to carry this book. If I don't finish it today, I definitely want to finish it by tomorrow. So this is what it looks like in the physical book. 70% in is what this is looking like. Have you guys read anything by this author? Like, I know she has another book that has magical realism. I guess that's just her thing. Have you guys read anything by this author? Let me know. And so as y'all seen, I did go to Five Below at Michael's. I was trying to find some Halloween stuff for my Kindle, and so these are the cardstocks that I found. So I found this cute one, and then on the back it has this, and then I found this cute one, and then on the back. Now I've been having these for quite some time, so I had picked these up like some weeks ago. Literally I've been sitting on these for weeks, and I just wanted to see if I could find anything else to put on my Kindle because I want it to be super cute. But I think what I'm going to do is go ahead and cut this one out because I want this one to be my Kindle insert for now. And then I think halfway through the month, I'm going to change it out to this one because I think this one is super cute and a little bit more spooky for closer to Halloween. But I think this one is super cutesy, just fitting my cutesy vibe. So yeah, I'm going to go ahead and cut these out while listening to the audiobook because the goal is to finish that book today. you guys can see, I finally finished the 7-Year Slip by Ashley Poston. And y'all, I really enjoyed this book, and I think I enjoyed the grieving side of it more than the romance. So I don't think I really touched on it much, but the female main character does lose her aunt. And that's how she ends up inheriting this magical apartment that she has. And then the male main character, he loses a close family member as well. But specifically, the female main character's aunt, she takes her own life. And so we are really following Clementine, which is the female main character, during her grieving process, which is one of the reasons why she really didn't want to take on this apartment, because she didn't want those memories, especially with her even having to remember that she traveled with her aunt every year in August, and she even canceled her travels for this year, and she just didn't want any parts of memories from her aunt like that will have her in her feels. And so I really loved how the author took the grieving process and put it with romance, and then used the magical realism element as far as this magical apartment. So I didn't really mention it, but her aunt had left her a list of rules. One of the rules was always take off your shoes when you enter the house. That was rule number 1. And number 2 was to never fall in love, because her aunt had fallen in love, and we get that in the novel as well. We kind of experienced a right place but wrong time when it came to the romance, and that's kind of the same thing that happened to Clementine as well, because she met this guy that was 7 years in the past, and she's fallen in love with him. Though it was the right place because it was in her aunt's apartment, it was the wrong time because it was 7 years in the past. And so I love how the author used grief to kind of tell this story, and then she tied it with romance as well, because y'all know I'm a romance girly. What I can say is I love the grieving part of it more than I love the romance, though. The romance really didn't pull at my heartstrings. It really didn't make me feel any type of way. Like, I wasn't feeling sad. I wasn't really rooting for the couple either. I was just going along with the story. And so I ended up giving this book a 3.75. Like, I'm happy that I finally got to the book, but it didn't really, the romance side of it really didn't pull me in. It didn't make me feel any type of way. It was literally like a subplot for me. But I really, really, really enjoyed the grieving side of it. And then I also listened to the author's note, and I love how Ashley used her own life's experience to tap into this novel. She mentioned in her acknowledgments that when she did her first draft of the book, it was with something else in mind. And then, you know, she had a family loss, and that's what triggered her to tap back into the book and really focus on the grieving part of the book. And I think that's what made me enjoy the book the most, the grieving side of the book. And I will say there is a trigger warning of suicide in this book. So if that is something that triggers you, I will be very hesitant on picking this up, because we do talk about it. And it's talked about because, you know, it's that question, you know, when you lose a family member and people are asking, well, how did they pass away? You know, and it's something that's a hard conversation to have, but you have to find a way to tell these people without literally just saying suicide. So yeah, I think this was a great read. I'm so happy that I finally tapped into this book, and I'm finally tapping into my whole series of reading books that I've been putting off for a long time. I knew that I was going to read this book before the end of the year. I just did not know when. I just kept looking at it. And, you know, her favorite flower is sunflowers. Her favorite color is yellow. And now I'm wondering if that's his favorite flower and color for the for the author, because that's mine too. I love yellow. Sunflowers is my favorite. So I was just like, yes, I love it so much. So yeah, y'all let me know. Have y'all read this book? Have you guys read anything by this author? Would you read anything by this author? I think it was a great read, and I feel like if you are into like contemporary romance, then this may be the thing for you. So thank you so much for kicking it with me while I read this book. It took me a minute, y'all. When I looked at my story graph, I started this book on September the 23rd. So it took me a minute because I really didn't want to rush through this book. I really wanted to give it my undivided attention, and that's just what I did. Drop a sunflower in the comments just so that I would know that you made it to the end of the video. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and also hype this video up. And until next time, ta-ta.